up, everybody? Sven Diesel here. We're going to be tying up the purple Crackle Midge. This is a Midge pattern using one of the new tungsten beads from Hareline in the Crackle Tungsten series and the color purple. We're going to be using a stealth hook, a C16. I really love these hooks for my midges, and we've oversized this bead just a little bit. This is a 2.8 millimeter. You could go with a 2.3 and still get it over that, but as you can see, we've got enough room here that it's not going to go over the eye, and I want it to get down a little bit quick. I'm going to be fishing this in some faster currents or as a dropper. So we're going to adjust that, get it on so that the small side of the bead is facing the eye, and we're going to be using this purple thread, and I've got a vintage bobbin here. If you know the story on these, there's no need to tell it. So we're going to start here with a purple. This is a 12-aught, and we are going to build up a slight taper there. You can see I just went down about 10 wraps, and I'll trim out this tag end. And then, of course, we're going to be tying in our wire at this point. I like to stick the wire up into the bead. Just have it. This is a 0.2 millimeter Semperfli in pink, and we are going to be snipping off roughly I usually snip off about 6 inches because I'm going to be tying a bunch of these, but you don't really need more than maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And we're going to tie this in on the top of the shank just with touching wraps. We'll work our way down the bend into the bend of the hook here, and we're just going to jump over where our tag end was before, and I'm going to go well into the bend, and then I will advance my thread back up, making sure we're covering all of our wire so that we're just left with this nice purple color, and we will end our thread right here behind the tungsten bead. Now, I like to start with the wire going down 3 to 4 wraps, roughly 3.5 wraps, and then I kind of jump over and then cover that thread to wire gap, and then we'll just spiral this wire up around our thread with if anything, you want the spacing to be a little bit closer towards the bend of the hook and get a little bigger. I just do even wraps all the way up to the eye, and I like to do a second wrap right behind that tungsten bead that's going to be covered up with thread. So we'll do behind and in front wraps. I'll use my flush cutters to snip it out, and then I'll take my fingernail and just kind of push that tag end up into that bead, and then we'll do a 3 to 4 turn whip finish here, covering up that tag end, and of course finishing off the fly. Now I can see I've got a little bit exposed there. It's not going to hurt us if you do a second, but I'm going to go ahead and get that out because I don't like that tag end exposed. And if you get a little bit more thread here, that's okay too. But we will snip that out as close as we can without ruining the integrity of the fly. And then of course we're going to use the magical product. This is Solarez Bone Dry Plus. We're going to go ahead and just take about I guess a full drop for the whole fly, and I'm just going to kind of work it around, letting it soak into those the thread there and covering the wire. And if you get too much on here, this is a little bit much. Don't be afraid to just grab your finger and rub it across and just get some of that off, and then wipe it on your probably not on your shorts, maybe grab a paper towel. But we're going to go ahead and cure this up for 10 to 15 seconds, get it behind, covering all the areas. And look at that pink kind of glistens under that UV light in that bead. That's pretty cool stuff, and so I think that's why it's the Crackle. So a pretty easy fly. You can tie it in a bunch of different sizes and color schemes, so tie some up, add them to your box, and appreciate you guys watching, and hope they catch some fish for you.